Hey everybody, Thrift Store Hacker, finally back at it. I've been gone for a while. I had some medical issues I had to sort out. I'm feeling on the up and up now. I wanted to come back and revisit a video where I made, I think it was one of my first videos on YouTube where I made this friction drive electric bike motor. I never had a test ride video up on it because I ended up taking the motor off the bike and giving the bike to somebody that needed to get to work and back and was only walking. But we have the 24 volt motor here, and it's a 24 volt. I think it's 250 watts, so under 20 amps. And as you can see, I have a brass door hinge on the end of it. To see how I made the wheel setup and have it all bolted up, you can check out my video. I'll put a link in the description of the original build because this is all all original from how I started it. And I have this already set up. And one of the things I wanted to do with this project too is give you a full list of parts. I'll probably post this on Instructables. Give you a full list of parts, things you can pick up. Most of this stuff you can get just right at the hardware store. Just a brass door hinge. I'm going to be using a nut, bolt, and washer set up from Harbor Freight. They're like $5 at Harbor Freight, and worth their weight in gold because you always have a little extra bits to put projects together. But we have this part already with the wheel mounted on to the motor, and this will go right down onto the bike tire. For the speed controller, I'm going to be using this. It's the same type of control board that I used on the electric trike project. I think this one can handle, well, the ad says it can handle up to 2,000 watts or something like that. I wouldn't trust it much more than 1,000. It has a little throttle switch you can turn off and on that plugs in. Let me see if I can find that here. It's a little thing you can turn back and forth, turn off and on. I gotta go get a new knob for that because I can't find the knob for it. Another thing we're going to be using is, of course, a circuit breaker in line. That way if it has any problems or shorts out or something like that, it doesn't set a fire. I'm going to have an on and off switch on it as well. I was going to use a big one that I used to have on the electric trike, but it's going to be a little bit big for a two-wheel bicycle. It'll be kind of hard to hide somewhere. But moving along, another thing we're going to need to do is put tension so this pushes down on the wheel really well, which it'll be mounted to the frame like this, and the weight of the motor will sit, hold it down onto the bike tire relatively okay, but when you hit a bump, it'll jump around and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this spring, mount the spring to the end of the motor right here, and then mount this up to the bike, and then I'll have a rod in here that I can adjust the tension on this spring, because if you have too much tension, it'll damage the bearings inside the motor here. If you have too little tension, this wheel will just slip on the bike tire and not provide a whole lot of power and just kind of waste an energy when that thing's spinning. But I'm going to try to keep this all down to being able to use like a 10 millimeter, maybe a pair of needle nose pliers, and a drill to build the whole thing. And I think that's all we have for today. We're going to be firing up this project, and I'll have a couple more videos out this week because I'm really excited to get this built so I have something to ride around town because spring has come and it's 60, 70 degrees outside, and just be really fun. Another thing is I'll have to build a box for this. On the electric trike, we had this old lunch meat container. I want to build something that looks a little nicer. We're going to have to build a bicycle rear rack for the bike. So the motor here will fit under the bike rack, and I'll be able to put the batteries that are coming in and the control board and all the electrics all in one pack on the bike rack behind me. Going to try to take the batteries and put them on the sides of the bicycle. That way the center of gravity on the bike sits a lot lower than if I just put them right behind me on the seat. But that's all I have for you today. Got more videos coming. We're going to be doing the Strange Fuel Engine pretty soon. We're going to look back onto the electroplating process, and I have a few more things I've learned about that. Electroplate copper onto like steel, and something to give you a little bit thicker of a coat. But until next time, build stuff and have fun.